Hey everyone, welcome to a new Star Wars Legends podcast. It's a miracle. It came out a week after the last one. That's a first for all of us. Today I got
6 days, technically.
Dylan, a.k.a. John Tuttle, on the Facebooks, my usual co-host. Returning to us, we got the Geeks Attic.
How's it going?
And we got a new guy, Bill.
Hey.
Also helped with the whole billboard project. So like I always start this podcast, we talk to the new host and ask how they got into the EU. So, Bill, how'd you get into this?
Well, mine is a little unique. I actually got into the EU before I saw any of the original trilogy. Started with the Caravan of Courage Ewok movie.
Oh!
I love it.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's classic.
You're missing something great.
People, I've never seen the Droids cartoon either. But yeah, that's how you got into the EU.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it did its job.
I actually had parents recorded it off the TV, and I wore that tape out to literally disintegrate it. We kept repairing it, and it just completely fell apart one day.
Do you have them on DVD?
Yes, I do.
Because there's two of them, right?
Yeah, it's on the same DVD, one on each side.
Ooh, it's one of those double DVDs from Satan. I hate those fucking things. Oh yeah, I swore. Oh boy, it's started off on a good foot.
By the way, if you want to know more about how Jeremy feels about the packaging that DVDs come in, check out his series Disc Case Problems. It's seriously great stuff. Yeah. I mean, all 12 of you who've seen it, you know.
Don't knock it because of what it's called. You'll understand my pain. You'll share it with me. Anyway.
Honestly, it's the second best content on here.
Speaking of pain and agony, Dylan and I think you as well, Geeks Attic. I don't know about you, Bill, but we saw the Rogue One trailer.
No, I managed to avoid that, or black it out. I'm not sure which.
Dylan and I saw it involuntarily, both seeing Captain America: Civil War, which sucked.
But that's a discussion for another podcast, because...
Yeah, it'd be on the podcast that never happened sequel.
Right, the sequel that will also never happen.
Starring Django, who never does anything but shove Funkos up you-know-where. Anyway...
And featuring Tevye.
Talking about anything but that. Anyway, let's get into this. Dylan, what do you think of the cancer that is Rogue One?
It was kind of like most trailers. The thing that always pisses me off about trailers is like when they quote unquote have to introduce the protagonist. It's like, oh, it feels really clunky to me. It's clunky exposition to me every time I see it, and it pisses me off. And this trailer had it, which, to be fair, almost all the trailers have these now. Where it's like, oh, this is this is what you are. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Anyway, back to the thing. But the one thing that was laughable about this trailer really was this one scene. It's very short, where there's like a guy who's apparently with the group that's trying to take the Death Star plans, who has like a quarterstaff or something, and he's surrounded by stormtroopers, and he's like knocking out the stormtroopers one by one. And instead of doing the logical thing, which is to, shoot him while he's out of range of their quarterstaff, they're charging in to get within range of his quarterstaff without firing. And it's completely immersion-making. When I saw that, just even without my bias towards this movie, I would have been like,
"That's dumb."
No, that's dumb.
Well. You're being nice about it. That didn't bother me as much as a bunch of other things in it. If I can be honest here, the protagonist, I rebel. no crap. Like, no shit, really? You're part of the rebellion, and you're just like, I rebel. I'm a juvenile delinquent. Ooh, I'm so edgy. She came off as like a fucking hipster.
I'm a discount Jan Ors. Oh, sorry.
Slash Kyle Katarn slash the Twi'lek from that one Star Wars DS game slash almost every female from a certain era of the EU. It's like, really? Then there is the continuity error that everyone has pointed out between it and Revenge of the Sith, where they're installing the dish on the Death Star, even though it was already on there at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Now, there's a way they can retcon that, by the way, which
I know
is...
they could retcon it, but will they? No. It's Disney.
Well, I mean, it's easy to explain because
that ties them down creatively.
Because what if, like, just... I mean, this has never been done before, but what if the Death Star we saw at the end of Revenge of the Sith was just a prototype, okay? And again, this has never happened before, right? This hasn't happened. But what if that's like, in some secret factory that they're using to test out the technology where a bunch of scientists are, but it's kind of isolated, like, I don't know, maybe surrounded by a bunch of black holes or something. Call it, let's say, the Maw. Again, for the first time ever. But the Death Star that they're building, that's the real Death Star. That's the first Death Star. But they still have the prototype that's in the quote-unquote Maw being run by all the scientists. One of which, by the way, Wedge Antilles later falls in love with, but then it doesn't work out. But again, this is all for the first time ever. Because, it's Disney.
This reminds me of the Minox Nest, where we talked about storylines like that, and Tristan got very upset with us. Tristan's watching, he probably left. And he's like, guys are lame. In typical Tristan fashion. Geeksack, you saw this, right?
I did. I got excited for it, but when they dropped that one line, I rebel, I got disappointed. The last shot when she turns and she's got the Imperial uniform on, thought that was pretty lame. We know she's a rebel, and they're like, was that Forrest Whitaker talking?
Forrest
like, be careful of.
Whitaker looks homeless in that movie.
Like a big limp.
Reminds me of Ron Perlman in that remake of Conan the Barbarian with his homeless beard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was okay in my opinion. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but yeah. Maybe I'm looking forward to the novel more than the movie.
They're making a prequel novel to it.
Yes.
And a prequel comic.
Yes. Just what we need, more prequels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's your prequel movie, and here's the prequel to the prequel the prequel book to the prequel movie.
That's also a spin-off.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe that big gun is being replaced in the Death Star.
I don't know.
Maybe the first one didn't fit. Like, oh, we need to take that out and put a new one in.
Bill looks genuinely confused. Don't worry, so's the rest of the world.
Like, honestly, I don't remember
We'll
most
have
of
some
what I saw.
estrogen on the next show.
I think there were some leaked photos for one of their. It's supposed to be coming out soon. Behind the scenes book. I can't remember what it was called, but it had some photos of aliens and another big character that's supposed to be in the film. I was more excited over the picture than I was the trailer.
But it didn't move.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
It has to move. That's the only way it counts.
Yeah. That's Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Hey, we hit our Dave Filoni quota making fun of. Are you happy,
We missed the
Dylan?
quota last time.
Yeah. The rumors of him actually getting to direct his own film makes me sick.
We what?
There's some rumors
Speaking
going
of-
on that it might be announced.
Speaking of Dave Filoni, apparently he caused a bit of a stir on Twitter recently
Oh, yeah.
when he tweeted out, I don't remember his exact tweet, but it's essentially him going like, yeah, we're heading off to Celebration, it's going to be great. Also, by the way, remember, there's always some truth in Legends. Like, why?
Because he doesn't like us. None of them do. They just put up with us because we're the money.
Yeah, I don't know so much about the Old Republic, but was Revan a male or female?
Male.
Chronically male, but you could play him as either, I think.
Because
Just
there was
like
a
Major Stewart
tweet by
was-
Pablo. Did you guys see that?
Oh, hold on, guys. We lost Dylan.
Uh,
I don't know what happened. Okay, I guess my co-host is gone, so let's pick up
Hi, Dylan.
Are we about Revan?
well, Pablo Hidalgo, however you say his name, put out a tweet. If it was entirely and only up to me, yes, Darth Revan would be canon, and she'd be as awesome as I remember her.
Oh no, this is what he does. This is what
Yes.
he does now. He intentionally antagonizes us.
Yes.
That is his goal in life. It's the only thing I think if he you know, the
That's
son
why I'm promoting my free
of Tristan.
hashtag.
You know,
Okay.
I have no idea where Dylan went. I'm sorry, everyone who's a Dylan fan. He's gone. I don't know how to add him back. Okay, here he is.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome back, Dylan.
Yeah,
Hi.
that's what Pablo does now. He's really bad. It's a pain in the ass.
By the way, can I just give a shout out to Comcast for providing top quality internet?
They're a show sponsor, didn't you know?
If we did this 2 days ago, that would have been happening to me thanks to Comcast.
Oh, that's true. All right. What's next? Oh, we have a little campaign going on. We talked about it last time, but we're doing a book
Now
drive.
we have
Bill, since you've been really quiet, why don't you tell us about this campaign?
Well, the Give Us Legends Facebook page, which is run by the Billboard team, been thinking of various things to do. We have various things in work, but right now we're concentrating on the book campaign where you donate EU books to your local libraries. Try to get more people involved in reading the EU. If you go to Facebook / Give Us Legends, there's more information there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Guys, check that out.
that's
When is this ending, Bill?
the
I
31st
think
of
we
July. I
decided
think.
to end it at the end of June-ish. Let me look.
Maybe it was June. It's the 31st of June or July. I think.
Let's see.
That lovely sign.
Comcast, you're being slow. Thank you, Comcast, again.
Right. The unofficial sponsor of this
We have
podcast. July
news
31st.
to
Ah,
talk
see?
about.
Well, you wanted numbers on Bloodline.
Yeah, do you have them?
Yeah, it
Where did
It debuted at number 12 on the USA Today Top 150. It's still on the list, the top 150 list for 3 weeks. We're in its third week of being on the list. Currently, this week is at 91. It'll probably stay there for another week or two. Basically, if you've been watching if you watch the Minox Nest, we used to keep track of how the new books were doing, and for like the aftermath, they were all pretty much one and dones. They would get on the lists around in the early hundreds, and then later they would even get to the mid-teens and then be gone. Aftermath came along, and that was on the list for a while, as well as was Twilight Company, which only was on the list for about 2 weeks. But Bloodlines is actually staying up there, and I think it's because of
People are confusing
as,
me with the EU book.
that, and as Matt would say, Claudia Gray, who wrote Bloodline, also wrote what is largely considered to be the best novel of the new canon with Lost Stars. So it might be I think there's a lot of people who read and love Lost Stars and like, oh, she's writing again. Let's see what this one's about.
I mean, that's why I got the book.
Lost Stars or
Both, actually, because I have both now. I don't know if you know. Matt didn't know that. But, yeah, I got Bloodline.
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
I hope
Mhm.
not.
I mean, I think I'm on chapter 15 right now, and I'm really enjoying it. It's the best portrayal of Leia yet.
Well, let's move into what we're reading. We'll start with Matt since he is reading Bloodline.
Yes, Bloodline. Really enjoying it. Like I said, Leia, she's done well. I don't know if it has anything to do with that the author is female. She could write the best Leia, right? Men really have a hard time writing women.
It depends.
I recommend the book definitely.
Can I get a status on where you are in the comics?
I'm caught up with Darth Vader. I have issue number 19 I need to pick up with Star Wars. Isn't 19 the latest one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I need to pick that one up. And Poe Dameron, number 2, I enjoyed it. I like that comic.
I liked it too, I will say that. 3 comes out this week, I think.
Yeah.
Or it might be next. I'm not sure.
I think it's next week. But that's all I've got with the Star Wars. So I've completely avoided the Anakin and Kenobi.
You're lucky. I will get to that. I'll go last.
See, I'm picking up everything new canon except that comic book series.
Okay.
I do not like that era. I can't help it.
And then, what are you reading from the old?
Old canon or Legends.
Yeah, Legends.
I
Yeah.
need to read. I'm on Tyrant's Test, the book 3 of the Black Fleet Crisis. So I'll be starting that as soon as I'm done with Bloodline. I might start doing reviews on Legends books. I don't know.
You should. I'd watch
right
it.
now. I'm just reviewing.
Bill would watch
Billy
it if you did that. Hell, even Matt would.
Yeah.
Other Matt.
Yeah.
Dylan.
So where are you, Bill, or what are you reading?
You want to go, Bill?
Yeah, between 60 hours a week at work, 80 hours a week at the movement, I don't have a lot of time to sleep, but I am reading Kenobi's Blade, which normally would take me an hour, but I've been reading it for about a week now, and I'm about halfway through.
What is Kenobi's Blade?
It's one of the Junior Jedi Knight books.
Oh, you lucky duck! I can't get those for a good price and good
I've been looking for them since they come out, and I got maybe half of them, and I found that a few months ago. I was like, I'm getting it, and I got it.
Man, it's the bane of my existence to try to get that in the AC Crispin Han Solo trilogy in hardcover.
Even when they were brand new, I couldn't find them in the stores.
I never heard of them until I found them in a Star Wars Insider. Like, they were talking about them in that, and I'm like, I've never heard of these. Because I was too young when those were coming out. I was 4 when Phantom Menace hit.
It'll make me feel old now.
A lot of that Bantam, the only reason I knew about the Bantam books was my parents were into them. But they only had so many, like, which I have most of the ones, they gave me most of their collection of stuff, but they had Thrawn Trilogy, the Hand of Thrawn duology, Planet of Twilight of all things, the New Rebellion, and Jedi Academy, and that was pretty much all I knew. And then they switched at the time to prequel era novels. They got Shadowhunter and Cloak of Deception and Labyrinth of Evil, and just a few of those. And the last one they picked up was Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor.
Did you ever finish that book?
No. I gave up on it because I was reading it. I had my Road to Crucible. I'll talk about that in my reading.
Okay.
Come on. You gave up on Luke Skywalker and Shadows of Mindor. The 3 of us have gotten through Crystal Star. Okay.
I'd rather read that.
You can slug it through.
But anyway, Bill, anything else besides hate mail, like we all get now?
Oh. For Bill or for me?
I'm seeing if Bill's read anything else.
No, I've been reading some Star Trek Voyager book, but no one wants to hear about that.
Yeah, it's like me reading Aliens books.
I do have, after I get done my Young Jedi Knights, I have Book 1 of Missions, which I read probably 20 years ago, and I don't remember a damn thing about it, so I'm going to reread it.
Didn't they reprint Missions when the original trilogy came out on DVD? I think they did.
I don't know.
I'm not sure because I remember those.
I've got a couple of those I'll show off in my next Star Wars book haul later this week.
Alright, let's see. Dylan, I kind of know where you are right now.
Yeah. I'm getting to the end of the swing on the road to Crucible, which Jeremy still really hasn't started yet, but I just finished Cross Currents, so I'm going to be reading Riptide very soon. Essentially, as soon as the work slows down.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Because I haven't really had a weekend because, you know, people need their oil changed for some reason on Memorial Day.
Who would have thought?
Between Friday to today, I worked 40 hours between Friday and today.
Wow, okay, you beat me. I was pushing close to 30 in that same time span.
Friday and today I only worked 6 hours because we're not open Sunday and Monday because it got cut out of our budget at work. We can't afford to be open then.
I had a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Well, you were unemployed like a few months ago, so...
Yes, very true. Very true.
Anyway. Here, okay, now I have to get on my soapbox. I made a big mistake in my road to Crucible. Not only did I not realize that there was a whole war that happened in the Marvel Comics that is referenced later in the Road to Crucible that I need to read, but I forgot a whole trilogy of books. Because I finished March 8 by the Emperor's Hand and realized there was stuff that happened before it. And I was irate. So right now, new canon, I have a chapter into Lost Stars. I'm enjoying. It's a fun read. It's a light read. But I'm focused on another novel right now that I'm trying to finish up, that I'm closer to finishing. So that's not Star Wars, but written by an EU author. So I've been working on that. More EU-wise, I've been reading the Marvel Comics, the original Marvel Comics. I'm on issue 6. I have the big Marvel Years Omnibus that they released last year, the first one. And I'm reading through that, and I'm going to be reviewing those. I was supposed to review the first one today, but instead I saw Captain America Civil War and cringed. So, yeah. Been working on that. Marvel Comics-wise, I finished the new stuff. Finished Obi-Wan and Anakin. It's one of the worst things I've ever read from Marvel. Genuinely, Charles Soule. I don't know how he can write Poe Dameron so well, but Obi-Wan and Anakin is trash. I've caught up on Darth Vader, caught up on Star Wars, so now I think I'll start really heavily picking up more of that stuff, the back issues of that after Gen Con. So I'm going to save for that because the whole DC Rebirth is happening right now. I'm not going to be picking up any back issues of anything for a while.
Oh, should we mention Gen Con here?
What's up?
Should we mention Gen Con if you haven't already?
We have not, actually. We should have done that last time because all three of us were going. Dylan and I are going to Gen Con with Matt Wilkins.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go with us, Matt, but you're not.
Yeah, when I lost my job.
Unfortunately, though, the great idea we had isn't going to come to fruition because Chuck Wendig won't be there, so we won't be able to get the most awkward, ironic picture ever.
Oh, no, no.
He must be scared of these conventions now.
You should get him to sign Air.
He's not out to advertise his new book?
I'm shocked. He said he was going to be there.
He really needs to.
No, he's not. The only one that's going to be is Dave Wolverton and maybe Michael Stackpole. Maybe.
I'm hoping he does show up because that'd be cool to get all of my X-Wing Rogue Squadron signed by him since I have the rare printings now.
I just have the paperbacks, which is all the X-Wing books.
The X-Wing novels. I'm talking about the comics. Actually,
do you have them all in single?
I do have all the singles, actually. I could bring every single issue for him to sign. Yeah, Bill. I completed my...
Along with Union?
What?
Along with Union? You should record your review of Union.
Oh, I'm going to do a remake of the report with Union, because I'm going to
sign it.
I'm going to redo a lot of my older reviews so they tie into the
road special edition?
Yeah.
It's going to have like a bunch of ATSTs in the background for no reason, and then as well as is Wedge going to shoot first in this one?
Who knows? Maybe I'll superimpose Matt in the background walking around.
Exactly.
Or better yet, Edward. With this Unabomber from
you'll completely review your verdict with like a random musical scene for no reason.
Yeah.
And then the outro music will be completely.
Tristan will be singing in the background. Singing about how he hates Bill for no reason when he's drunk.
Good. Neutral.
For those of you who don't know, we were all in a giant Skype call. Well, Geeks Attic wasn't, but he was the only one not there. And Tristan called out of the blue, and there were a lot of us. A lot of people from the Alliance. Brian was there. Bill, Josie from Minox Nets. Well, formerly from Minox.
And the Alliance.
And the Alliance. Dylan and I were there. Matt Wilkins was there. And Tristan comes in. Drunk.
Oh, Brian was there too.
Very upset over, I think he got dumped or something. It was actually pretty sad. But then he realized that he was not just in a call with Matt and me, and that there was a whole bunch of people there. But he could only figure out who Bill was, and so he just got really, really mad. And he just starts screaming obscenities at Bill, and just
he's like, "Who the hell's this guy? I don't know this guy. Why do you guys have him in here?"
He was really mad at Bill, and to this day, Bill won't talk to him.
I've tried talking to him a few times, and the last time I talked to him, he started talking about his rape stories, and that was it.
Wait, what? He hasn't told me those. Oh, Tristan.
Basically, it was the greatest introduction to Tristan one could ever have.
Oh yeah.
Just because with how accurate it is.
It might trump the time when I met Tristan and he. Was it the first one of Django's Hangouts where he ate the oatmeal without any sugar on it? Or
no, that was the second one, and I think that was the after show.
You were there, you were on it, and you weren't on the first one.
Yeah, I wasn't on the first one. I was on the second one. It was in the after show because he's like getting oatmeal, and he's like, ah.
No, it was.
And he's like, what the hell? Who eats it plain?
It was on the It was on the episode. Because it derailed everything.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It derailed everything, and then Tevin.
This is the point, by the way, if you're watching, where we're reminiscing about things that happened in the past that were way more interesting than what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we talked about Rogue One. Did you want to talk about the latest news with Rogue One?
About how they got to reshoot it?
Oh, yeah. We forgot to talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Bill found this last minute or something.
Yeah, they
do
the Princess of the Universe podcast had shared it. I don't know anything about this website, but apparently they're reporting that they're having to reshoot several of the scenes for
not just
lots of money.
It's 4 weeks of scheduled reshoot.
Is it of expensive reshoots? They say.
That's bad. That means someone's never getting a job at Disney again. I can tell you that. When John Carpenter did The Fog, and they realized that half the ghost scenes didn't work lit correctly, they had 1 week to reshoot that. So if Disney's giving them 4 weeks, that means something really, 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 really bad happened. And so they either
they lost footage bad. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Well, I know the comic book, I think, was pushed back, too.
Everything's, I think, is pushed back.
Mm-hmm. This is probably
Is it still
why.
going to come out this year?
Yeah, it's still on schedule for December, it said.
Well, I mean, well, fuck, I don't know. This film didn't even seem like they wanted to make it.
I mean, see, to me, this movie, I'd rather see this than the Han Solo film.
Oh, speaking of Han Solo, the next Marvel miniseries is a Han Solo miniseries. I don't know if I'll pick it up. It's by an author that I don't know, so that could either mean good or it could mean really terrible. Probably the second.
Yeah.
I just can't afford that sort of thing right now. I got to save up for my DC Rebirth. You know, that's like my number one. That's Bay for me.
It's funny.
You know, but yeah. Want to get to the one question?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's two questions, both from Dark Snovia.
Of course. Who we invited to this podcast, but he couldn't come. Because one of these days I want him to answer his own questions.
Well, but the thing is, though, if we invite him to the podcast, we will have invited the only viewer that we have.
Hey, we have 7 viewers right now. Thank you very much. And that's better than usual, which usually involves.
If you're a viewer and you came from the Throne for the Arts link, please comment now.
All right, so let's get into.
So he has 2 questions. If Anakin Skywalker was able to reach his full potential, how much crazy shit do you think he would have been able to do in the original expanded universe? And he says that basically Luke become like the most powerful Force user in galactic history. So, and he was like a watered down version of Anakin. So,
okay, Dylan, you remember back when Tim had his website?
Mm-hmm.
There was talk of us writing the canon, the emergency plan that now doesn't really exist, and how I wanted to write an Infinity's Phantom Menace. And I actually did write a little bit of it. I got into this.
This idea?
This idea. So I don't really want to talk about it. Because it brings up that whole time period where we were stressing about writing the canon for everyone. But I will say this. It was going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be real. He was going to have because, well, you see, and mine was a little different because Qui-Gon, I had Qui-Gon live instead of Obi-Wan. So we had the incorruptibility of Qui-Gon training him instead of Obi-Wan, who was not ready to train someone, in my opinion. Sort of thing going on. So yeah, I think he would have been the sort of Jedi Messiah, probably.
I have a slightly different view on that.
All right.
I would say
shit.
I would say he'd be very powerful, but I don't think Anakin as a character would have reached his full potential. Because the reason why Luke became as powerful as he did was because he had such a good work ethic.
Great. All right. Who wants to go next?
Go right ahead. Bill.
Bill.
What's the question?
Would Anakin have reached his full how powerful would Anakin be if he was...
Well, trained by Qui-Gon? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Qui-Gon has always been quite of a little bit of a rogue. So he would probably want to let the council limit the stuff that Anakin was doing.
Yeah, but I mean, even if Qui-Gon hadn't trained him, do you think he would have reached like his full potential, or would he just be so Anakin that he wouldn't?
And
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Anakin always he had mommy issues, and that's proven to be a problem with Force users. So he probably want to made his full potential.
like I was saying, Luke
Yeah,
had
like
such
you
a
were saying.
dedication. Like I was saying before, Comcast decided to be such a great internet provider again.
Show sponsor, everyone. Show sponsor.
So, Luke, what made Luke great was he had such a drive to not only learn about the Force, but really in himself, because he had to essentially revive the Jedi Order, which had a lot to do with it. He really studied and cracked down and really became the closest thing to a Jedi Master that there ever was. Anakin as a character, while he had more raw potential with the Force, while he probably on his own could have been infinitely more powerful than Luke ever could dream of, wouldn't never really meet his full potential because it's just not in his character. He wanted
He wasn't one to
a quick and
meditate or
easy way.
study.
He wanted more. Wanted to.
He wanted
Right.
to
He
live
just
in the moment.
he wanted all the flash of the Force. Yeah, exactly.
You
So
see,
we'd
that's
have a very powerful, but we wouldn't have his full potential.
One of his biggest problems was what was in the mention in Rogue Planet was that he didn't like to meditate because he would feel so much it would be overwhelming, and that's kind of essential for a Jedi to
But the
meditate.
thing was, he was a child then. I believe that he would have if Palpatine had been manipulating him, he would have matured over time. I believe that eventually he would become a member of the Jedi Council, and then he would grow up. He would grow into becoming this, even the leader of the Jedi Order.
With him working behind the council's back, I don't think even if Palpatine wasn't there, he would never have trusted them completely because they would never let him be with Padme because the rules at that time were too strict for Anakin to be able to become everything he could have been.
He probably
Yeah,
would have
that's-
just straight up left the Order.
Yeah, Anakin definitely would have left the Order if Palpatine wasn't involved.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Because I think he was destined to fall. I mean, he had the lady Padme. He wasn't supposed to. He's human, with that much power. Most of the time, you're gonna go bad.
But I'm going to use an EU example here. Ulic Queldromo from Tales of the Jedi. He falls big time. He gets ripped from the Force. But at the end of that series, he understands the Force enough so he becomes one with the Force. I think even if Anakin left...
And he was...
Even if he left the Jedi Temple and left the Order, I still think he would have learned, and he would eventually find, like, some sort of peace and become this being.
He became that, like, weird old man with the big gray beard in the woods.
I don't see him ever finding peace because he's always talking about the dragon that's inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think no matter what happened, he was going to find peace.
And Ulic's kind of a weird case because we don't exactly know what he did on Renvar for all those years, which you don't think is a problem.
He may have had something to do with the Dark Reaper project.
Well, yeah, but we don't know exactly what happened with that. But again, by the end of the Tales of the Jedi, kind of spoiler alert, but there's a Jedi Knight who basically wants revenge against Ulic, and she starts fighting him. And he, after years of not having the Force and essentially not practicing with the saber, is able to hold his own, and even drive her back against a fully trained Jedi Knight. That's not something that just happens. I mean, combat, it's a muscle that you have to develop and continue to train. It's not like riding a bicycle. You're not so that leads me to believe in Ulick's case that he was doing some extracurriculars on the side that let him stay in shape and stay as attuned to the Force as he could, which probably is why he also was able to become one with the Force.
Well,
that's just my speculation.
We can assume that Ulick is training at the beginning of Redemption. He's carrying a sword with him. So that led me to believe that he had been practicing his saber skills, not necessarily with a lightsaber, but with a saber nonetheless.
Which is slightly different from a regular sword, because a lightsaber, there's no weight in the blade, and then they're naturally gyroscopic, so they're hard to handle. So it's not exactly the same, but close to it.
Yeah. It's something.
It's something.
Second question.
Oh, the second question is, who do you think is the most overrated and underrated character in the Star Wars multiverse?
So two most overrated. You want me to go?
It's going to be a toss-up for overrated between Revan and Mara Jade. Now, it's not to say... Well, I also Han Solo. But that's more... my opinions on those are more to do with the fan reaction than the characters themselves.
Okay.
Because the Mara Jade fans will... Some of them will take blinders to the rest of the EU and just see Mara Jade and disregard everything else.
I've got 2 overrated, if I could skip on the underrated.
Well, we'll do overrated first. That gives specifically me time to figure out my underrated.
I think the most overrated...
Yeah, because underrated's hard.
Yeah. Overrated? Boba Fett. Don't hate me. But
No,
I think,
I understand, dude.
I mean,
for me.
it'd be neat to see more action from him, but I don't want that movie. I want to leave it, up here. He's so overrated. I mean, dude gets swallowed by, the Sarlacc. Okay. He's gone. I think he's gone. He's overrated. And Ahsoka, another overrated character.
Ooh, I didn't even
I think that's the one we were all thinking of originally, but none of us wanted to say it.
I wasn't, actually.
Well, I don't even...
I'm tired of hearing her name.
I don't really recognize her as anything other than a propaganda plot.
Dylan.
I'm gonna, because I completely agree with everything you said, but just to be different, I will say any character who was the protagonist in a video game. Specifically, like Kyle Katarn, like Starkiller, like Revan, because I see like a lot of, I don't know what it is, but it's like I played as the character for hundreds of hours. As it kind of, again, it's with the fan reaction of, there's something about with reading. With reading, you can kind of get in the mind of the character, but with the video game, you're actually acting out as the character, and it almost goes a bit more in depth with it. So the people really identify with those characters, and they, like Bill said, to a point where it's complete blinders with everything else. So that would be my answer. It's not a character, but more of a character type would be my overrated.
Overrated.
That makes sense.
5 that are all equal to each other. I'm sorry, I can't. 6, I think. Sorry, I cannot narrow them down. Let's see. I'm not going to count Boba Fett and Han Solo because they're movie characters. Well, I wouldn't even count Han Solo because I find him really entertaining. But Boba Fett's very overrated, and I was the biggest Boba Fett fan as a kid. Like those Boba Fett young adult novels, that was my bread and butter for a long time. But let's see, we got Revan. Oh, Ahsoka, if we count Ahsoka. Actually, Ventress. I find her very overrated too. And that's mainly Filoni era Ventress. See, we got. Actually, there'll be 5 then. Starkiller. I am so sick of Starkiller talk. Starkiller wasn't even a good character. I'm actually one of those people who does not like the Force Unleashed games. I like the aspect of throwing TIE fighters around, but that was about it. It's incredibly repetitive gameplay. The second one's so broken that you can beat it in like 4 hours. There's no challenge to them. I think the only challenging thing was pulling the Star Destroyer down in the first one. That's because the controls were broken.
And the Darth Vader fight was pretty tough too. And then the train scene from the second one. Those were the ones that gave me problems.
In the first one, no. Well, it depends if you go light side or dark side. When you fight the Emperor, that was pretty difficult. Or you fight Vader the second time.
And really, the Vader fight in the second one too, but that was more of because of the platforming nonsense.
Yeah, that was
involved.
stupid because you didn't have to platform in the whole game, and then you had to do it there.
Yeah.
That was a little ridiculous. But Cade Skywalker.
Hey.
Yes,
hey.
I'm going to go with Cade Skywalker because he's a bad character. You think his character's going somewhere, and then because of a stupid event, he goes the complete opposite direction and has no character development. Until, like, it's tacked on at the end. But, you know, I'll start off most underrated character. It's Waru.
I was going to say that.
I was waiting for
as a joke.
Someone to say that.
Waru for president.
You took my answer.
All around Disney and make Bob Iger pay for it.
You're going to make me throw up.
He's going to let the water flow in California because there is no drought. The government's holding our water back because of some 3-inch fish, but it's okay. Waru's going to let it flow. He made friends with Bob Iger. They're friends now.
He's good at making deals, too.
He brainwashes people.
He's going to make deals. Yeah.
And they won't get worse all the time, trust me.
No, actually, in all seriousness, although I would like actually to see an explanation for Waru, because other space. I'd have to go with what's his face from Dark Empire 2.
What's his face from Dark Empire 2?
The guy, the Jedi that, the former Dark Jedi that suddenly with Luke that they were going to write Lightsider and it was going to be about him.
Oh. You mean Cam Salazar?
Yeah. He's never used.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
No. Not to the ability I want him. Like, you know, pre.
Oh,
Dark
pre.
Empire.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Jedi.
But I mean, pre. I would have loved to see him as a Dark Jedi. Because we're just told about it.
Well, to a certain extent, we're just kind of told about Mara Jade being an assassin, too.
But I mean, she does do some assassin-y things. Hey, did you read Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand? She'd kind of assassinate the wrong person, which was pretty funny.
So she assassinates the wrong person and can't assassinate Luke?
I know. I talk about this in my review that's not gonna come out for like another year.
Well, again, it was like every time it was just like, damn, I actually need you alive so we can get out of this. I'll kill you later, though. And technically, she did kill. Well, okay, spoiler alerts if you're one of 6 people, Expanded Universe fans, who have not read the Thrawn trilogy for some reason at this point. Spoiler alert, she does kill a Luke Skywalker at the end of the Thrawn trilogy. It might not be the Luke Skywalker, but she kills a Luke Skywalker.
I forgot that she's the one who kills him. Kills the clone. Does she kill George Sabak as well?
I can't remember. I think that might have been Luke.
Manages to stab in the comic. I think she stabs both of them at the same time, and then she gets electrocuted.
Well, she got electrocuted a lot in that fight.
She got
I mean, she was down for about half of it.
That's trilogy. So I think she gets electrocuted in Dark Force Rising as well. But that's been a long time since I read those.
All right, so who else? Underrated.
Well, mine kind of. You reminded me of mine.
Sure.
It sounds weird, but I'd say Luke Skywalker, especially in the EU. I think he's not used very well.
You haven't gotten to when he's used well yet, though.
Yeah, well, so far, I think he's just kind of like a little pansy. It's like, oh, I'll do that later, or like in the Thrawn trilogy, he's not the one who solves the problem. Mara Jade does. And everybody likes Luke or Han Solo so much better, it seems like, than Luke. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, he was fighting himself in The Last Command, and they were equally powerful for some reason. Don't ask me why the clone had the same amount of training that Luke had.
Well, the Emperor can download stuff in the clones.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
Hence Bevel Lemelist, who he literally he would torture to death and then bring all his memories and be like, okay, remember being tortured to death? Yeah, don't do that again. Don't fail me again. Now go and do stuff for me. Oh, you failed again? Here, let me torture you to death again, and then make another clone, which will have all those memories too. Yeah, don't do that again. He did that 5 or 6 times, I think. It's really messed up. Again, spoiler alert for, I think that's Darksaber. Anyway.
Is it the same? Isn't that same character in Dark Empire?
He might be.
I think he is in Dark Empire 1, and then he gets killed. Again.
When do these books come out?
Bill?
Let's see.
Underrated?
Bear Sophie. But forget the Clone Wars version.
As the healer.
And as a saber user, she's so underrated. In The Approaching Storm, is that the right book? It's probably not
the Alan Dean Foster one that happens before Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, the Approaching Storm.
Yeah.
She uses her lightsaber so amazingly, it even awes Anakin, and that's nearly impossible.
Right, well she is...
ranks her as one of the best saber users in the Order, in the top 5. She is completely underrated because as a saber user.
And she's one of the best Xi'an practitioners of all time.
And she was at the not stadium, the Coliseum, I forget the word, at Attack of the Clones, the battle on Geonosis. She survived the battle outside the main group of the Jedi. That shows you how awesome she is with the lightsaber.
And then didn't she and what's-her-face survive in a cave on Munilus?
Munilus?
I don't know how many... No, it was Ilum. It was on Ilum.
Ilum, yeah.
For how many days were they stuck there in freezing temperatures?
I think it was only a few days, but to Bill's point...
buried under rocks.
I mean, she's one of the greatest badasses of all time, and everyone kind of just shrugs her off as a healer.
Well,
and to Bill's point... well, yeah. But wasn't she the only Padawan who actually survived the Battle of Geonosis, other than Anakin, obviously?
I think so.
Yeah.
And she did it outside the Circle of Jedi, which is impressive in itself.
Yeah. Let's see. What about you, Dylan? Did you say yours?
Well, my most underrated character is kind of obvious to anyone who knows what my names are when I post under. It's going to be Cade Skywalker. Because, I mean, he's just so... I don't know what the hate is about Cade Skywalker. Yes, he has a character. He has a character arc. He starts out as an asshole. But, I mean, when you see what happens in the beginning of Legacy, you kind of tell why. But he grows as a character. He becomes such a great character. You can't just introduce a character and yeah, okay, here's this character. Here they're all fully fleshed out. They don't have anywhere to go. They're perfect. You can't do that. You have to have the flaws. You have to have the story.
Problem with him at all. My problem is he has a character. It grows. He learns from his mistakes, and then suddenly he doesn't learn from his mistakes anymore. Suddenly,
that's part of the
he
charm.
reverts back to the way he was in issue 2. And then suddenly they have to tack on that he learned something in the end.
You haven't finished Legacy. He does finally get past everything, because again, that was kind of with his addiction to death sticks, which is why he was going back and forth. But in the end, he gets over it.
No, he doesn't, because in Legacy 2, spoilers to Legacy 2, he and the other members of the Minoc show up, and they screw Anya Solo out of money.
Yeah, because that's what they do.
That's not character development. That's the same.
Well, it's not the same. Again, we don't know. And B, that was more of just fan service of, hey, remember these guys? Yeah, they're still around. But that's what they did. He was a Jedi, yes, but he had other extracurriculars that he did, which was being around in the Minoc and doing...
And being a pirate.
Right. That he did the Jedi Order stuff on the side.
Wrong with that, but it's always this talk of jerking off around Legacy, and it's like, it wasn't in my opinion, it was good, but it wasn't nearly as good as the other stuff coming out at the time. Because you have to imagine, this was a time when Dark Horse was really high and everything was really good. And in my opinion, Knights of the Old Republic was better.
Well, that's where Knights of the Old Republic is good, but you're wrong there.
My opinion is wrong. You know, my opinion I'm entitled to.
No, you don't.
That's just wrong. By the way, this is an argument we've had like 8 or 9 times left.
I think within the first few times we've had conversations together one-on-one, we have this problem, and it goes back and forth constantly. In my opinion, softened about it.
Well, because you actually finished Legacy since then.
Yeah. Well, for the most part.
Well, because you still haven't read War yet.
I've not read War. I have an idea of what happens in War, because it's like every miniseries of War that Dark Horse came out with for Star Wars.
Well, to be fair, of all the War miniseries, the Legacy one was the best. That I've read, at least. Which is almost all of them.
It is. It's not going to be nearly.
But then that's going head to head with KOTOR War, which was just like
tacked on.
I actually have Vietnam style flashbacks of that at night, of how bad it was.
And then Dawn of the Jedi Force War.
Well, Force War was when Dawn of the Jedi actually started getting interesting, and in Force War was just like, why the hell weren't the other two minis like this?
That's why I don't like it, because it's depressing. There was potential.
It's like, but it was just getting good.
Yeah, Bill's like, I need it.
What was the other?
Hey, Jeremy,
what was the other
war?
war?
Comments? You got a fan.
What's up, Bill?
You got a fan in the comments.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Is it Edward?
No. At least I hope it's not Edward.
Is it Alex Starr?
No.
Do I? What's going on? Oh, now I have to look.
You should.
I'm not seeing any.
Hello, me. Can you send a greetings, friends? Oh, sure, Edgar Z4F. Greetings.
So you get still
you
9
don't
people.
see Tiffany's comments?
I can't view it. It's not allowing me on here. I saw that someone commented.
Oh, okay. We have like 4 comments on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's
actually
almost
traction on this show that I thought it was a dead end for a long time. That's why we really didn't do one. Actually, it was because I'm lazy. And Dylan's like, hey, we should do one of these. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't feel like doing this and talking crap. Do we have anything else to talk about? Matt looks asleep. Bill looks like he's going to get there as well.
It's 11
Well,
o'clock.
I do have
It's
to get up
11:13.
in 3.5 hours
Yeah.
for work.
Yeah. For all of you who
Shall
don't
we
know,
end it here?
it's actually tomorrow for Bill right now.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, sure.
And Matt's not far behind.
No, yeah. It's 11:30, 11:13 here.
Okay, well, why don't we end this? To all of you, thanks for watching while this aired. To all of you who are going to watch it, let us know what you think. Like, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. I really don't give a shit, and this is my channel, so that's my consensus. I don't really care what they have to say.
And if you're Edward, please thumb it down with all your fake accounts.
Oh
It
yeah,
really helps
please,
us.
Edward, start shit with me again, because the same thing will happen to you, like last time. God. Now I'm really irritated. And guess what? You're still banned from reviewers and Crossroads.
All right.
If you're new to this channel, subscribe and see more of my content. Subscribe to my Patreon. That doesn't exist. That would mean I have to share money with Dylan, and that's not ever going to happen. Anything else? Oh, follow me on Instagram for cute kitten pictures of Buddy, who decided that he was not going to come down for this podcast. And follow me on Twitter.
And then don't forget to switch your internet provider to Comcast.
Oh, yeah, our show sponsor. Anything?
All right.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Bill, how'd you like your first episode?
It was interesting. Even if it just means I'm going to be asleep at work tomorrow.
Isn't that the best way to
Well,
go to
it's
work?
not like you work with giant stabbing and cutting utensils, so.
Yeah. Like I don't.
It's good to have you on again, Matt. Dylan, it's always a pleasure. Not really.
That's John Tuttle to you. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Next time we're on the show.
Oh, it's John Sadler? Hey, everyone, John Sadler's on.
Haha, very funny.
All right, anyway, have a nice day.